Welcome to today's episode of Daily Dose with hosts Jeannie Fort, Wendy, and Shane Doogan Doull. Open wide. It's time for your dose.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Daily Dose on US Weed Channel. I am your host Shane Doull with co-host Jeannie 420 and producer Scott Migdal. We have a hell of a show for you today. We're going to learn about, well, all things weed as usual that you love. And we also have a super awesome guest, Sage Doull, I hope I said that right, or Chef Sage as she goes by, and as our super awesome guest. And by the end of the show, you will be a better human because you took your dose. Now, as always, you can get your dose administered right through your eyeballs on US Weed Channel apps on all of your favorite devices, except Fire TV, because of course, they're lame. We've already launched on your platform once, and well, we're ready to return. Get your daily dose also administered through your earlobe balls, however you want to say it, by listening at usweedchannel.com/radio, which is also available on a couple of different platforms like TuneIn and FM.com and some other things. So literally, US Weed Channel, we are in your head. Now, because you love growing cannabis TV, take a second to water those like, share, and subscribe buttons. Don't forget the follow buttons, all that good stuff on everything at US Weed Channel. And of course, don't forget to light up your like and subscribe buttons if you aren't watching at usweedchannel.com and be the beautiful fan of cannabis media that we know you are. All right, real quickly, we're going to go to break. We're going to pay some bills and we'll come right back to have some fun. Today's episode is brought to you by New Jersey Cannabis Consulting. Please be sure to check out their links, show them some love, and when you get a chance, if you're a cannabis business or investor, make sure you hit up their site and register yourself. It's a great deal. All right, you guys, we will be right back with your Daily Dose.
Legal adult use cannabis is coming. Is it right for you? And will you be ready? Legal adult use cannabis is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the process has already begun. NJ Cannabis Consulting serves the business needs of individuals and companies interested in becoming involved in the legal adult use cannabis market in New Jersey, helping you understand the many challenges, assisting you to determine the opportunities that are right for you, developing and executing the plans required to be successful in the cannabis industry, and so much more. New Jersey Cannabis Consulting, your friend in the cannabis industry. Call us today.
Welcome back to the Daily Dose podcast with your host Jeannie 420 and Shane Doogan Doull. This segment is brought to you by the New Jersey Cannabis Consulting. Be sure to follow the links and show them some love. Be sure to watch the US Weed Channel on all your favorite devices except for Fire TV because they are lame. But whenever they want to come back, we're ready and willing. And download the USWC mobile apps and support all things US Weed Channel because you love growing cannabis television. We were about to introduce our super special guest for the day, Sage Doull, who just got the starring role in a play called Harvey. We can't wait to ask her, but let's find out. What is Harvey and what is your role?
Right on. Give us just a tiny bit of background about yourself because we understand that you are a chef in the cannabis industry. So, Chef Sage, let's start out with the first question that everyone's going to want to know is, how did you start with becoming a chef? Did you start off being a chef or did you start off with the idea of becoming a cannabis chef?
Actually, no, it was not planned at all. I actually have a condition called glaucoma. I was born with cataracts in both eyes, and as a side effect of that, I developed glaucoma I was diagnosed with it around the age of 10, and so I have been treating my condition now for 30 some years, and I wanted to not just smoke it because I was a school teacher when I started out, and I couldn't smoke when I was working with the children, so I needed to eat it, and I didn't want to always eat brownies or cookies or things like that, so I found other ways of making different kinds of infusions and applying it to all different parts of my life. And then naturally, organically started sharing it with everybody else.
So, okay, so you weren't even a chef. You weren't thinking of being a chef. You were a school.
No, I was a Montessori preschool teacher originally. And then my vision depleted over time because of the glaucoma. And I was unable to still work with the children. My next love was cooking. So naturally, I made the transition.
Well, right on. Okay, now it's coming clear. So we hear this quite often where they have some sort of ailment and there isn't really a solution out there, so they create their own. And so kudos to you for starting that and seeing that avenue for having the love of cooking. journey. So what was the next step?
So the next step was actually, I was about 13 years into my teaching career, and I was losing vision and realizing that I needed to switch modalities, that I was feeling like a liability in the classroom. And so I needed to reinvent myself. And since I had been making edibles all these years, I thought, well, let me get involved with the cannabis community. I first started speaking for HempFest, sharing my journey. And then I started reaching out to, there were still dispensaries in Washington State at the time. It's before recreational cannabis got passed. So I started bringing things that I was making to a dispensary in Seattle called New Millennium. And they liked what I was doing. So they invited me into their store, and I created a whole line of products for them in addition to carrying on the products that they had already had.
Cool.
And then I got discouraged by the scene because it just seemed to be a money grab. And so I said, let me be that person that tells everybody how to do it. I'm like that magician giving away the secrets. I'll be that guy.
Let's take a step back, because that sounds like there's a lot more story there. You ended up making some different items, and you were bringing them to these events, and then people liked them. And they're like, hey, we want you to start making stuff not like these, but our own stuff as well.
Yes, they had their own products. They had space brownies and things like that they were doing, and they were okay. I have a really wide culinary repertoire because I've been doing this so long that I was bringing to them also like hard candies, caramels, and of course all like the bakery items. I would create like fancy cakes and stuff like that. And I would also make all of their infusion butter and oils that we would use in these recipes, as well as packaging and labeling, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, that's cool. I used to, when I had my dispensary, we'd sell infused butter, because sometimes people just wanted to make little one-offs and things like that. And they didn't necessarily want to have, a lot of people were watching their girlish figure, which is great.
Yeah, they didn't always want a sweet thing.
Right. They didn't want a brownie or gummy or whatever that's filled with sugar each time.
Yes.
So I think that's great. So now you're making stuff for the locals and whatnot, and then you became discouraged with what? Was it like a regulatory body? In your answer, you had said that after you were doing that, you became discouraged with one part of the process.
I became discouraged with the fact that the system seemed to be financially driven and less really about patients. And so they were charging patients way too much for what they were making. The profit margin I felt was excessive to the cause. I was trying to actually help patients achieve their health goals, and a lot of them were financially not able to do that because of, when you have cancer, you're not working. And because you're not working, you might not have insurance. And so you have all of these expenses out of your pocket. And then on top of that, you have these people who are trying to basically steal your money by charging for oil that didn't even cost that much to make, and at the same time bolstering themselves as some savior in the community. That to me felt wrong.
We've experienced that. And I think that everyone on the show here today can probably relate 1000% with what you're saying, because there's a lot of vultures in our world. On that, listeners at home and viewers, it's been a long, decades-long fight since cannabis started to really become legal to get the thug out of cannabis.
Yes, that's right.
It's almost worse than prohibition with alcohol, because back then, those guys at least had some sort of semblance of society and but with cannabis, it seems like a lot of companies have just done a vulturous grab, and a lot of us don't dig it. We just want to make sure that everyone can get their plant and things like that and get their medication. So
my plan was basically say, you can buy all the base ingredients from these stores. But in Washington State, where I was living, the taxation was happening on 25% increase for every process of it. So if you started with flour and you turn it into concentrates, they would add a 25% tax. Then you take the concentrates and you make edibles with it. They charge another 25% tax. So the edibles are charged 50% tax, as opposed to the flour, which was just a singular 25%, 75% for the edibles and 25% for the flour. Sorry, excuse me. And that is vastly different. Why don't you just save yourself that tax money? Buy the flour. I'll teach you how to make the oil. Everybody's happy.
This is an amazing thought process. Put the power in the hands of the people.
That's right.
Whoa. We got to cut the feed, everybody. So, okay, well, first of all, love that mentality, because that's what we're all about here at US Weed Channel. You're on the team right now. And first of all, that's great. What was your first step in, you're like, okay, F this process. I'm going to design a new process. What was that first sort of step that you said, let's do this? I'm going to do this. And then you did something.
I guess it was when I was working at the dispensary and things were starting to go awry there. I was seeing people, administration kind of really taking advantage of the system. So when I stepped away, I just let them know that it was just a conflict of interest. And then I started by joining the Magical Butter Users United group. I found that group on Facebook, right? And I had my own methodology to making infusions. A lot of people wanted to do oven decarboxylation, and I was still very much enjoying the old alchemist way of a slow infusion to naturally decarboxylate, but without damaging the terpenes. So I shared my method that I had created that would work with the Magical Butter machine, which was like not their recipe, but after much working with them, they accepted my method and allowed it to be part of the group. I think that's where my following really started, was that people were trying this out, realizing that they didn't have to put it in the oven. They were independently taking it to the labs and testing it to prove the activation was there, and they were reporting back that when decarb butter didn't work for them, that this was. So that's kind of where it started, and then of course it's just branched out from there. I created a lot of other recipes and methods since then for different varieties of making infusion oils or making concentrates at home.
I know everybody that is watching right now, they're going to be like, okay, where's your show on US Wheat Channel?
And it's coming, I guess, I'm going to be working with Ashley, something in the future. I do have this new engagement that I just took on. So once we figure out the scheduling for that, then we can integrate something in.
That sounds amazing, because what you're doing is education. It's power to the people. It's a beautiful thing. And that's what we want. We literally know that our power here at the channel comes from the people. When we deliver more of that and what they want, then they'll just be coming more in droves, right? And people like yourselves with great information on, you're not rigging the system by any means. You are creating a pathway to less disparity is pretty much what's working. And that's a great thing to do for people, especially when they have cancer. So, power to you. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is amazing. And so, by the way, where are you located? What state are you in?
I am currently living in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Shut up. I am so jealous right now.
That's right.
We're global. So you'll definitely be on in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And now we have a place to go and film an episode and get on jet skis. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's, oh my gosh, the jet ski scene is real over here. You can go paragliding, you can do skydiving. I mean, they have a lot here.
I just thought of something sad. It wasn't me missing out on all the skydiving and motorcycle riding. So now what's next? Like, where do people find your products? How are things being made? That type of stuff.
So currently actually starting products over here where we live in Puerto Vallarta. In the States, I started a company called CB Delights, which is a very cost-friendly option for people who are looking for organic CBD products. I'm still able to provide those when I come to the States on our periodic visits for patients. But basically with the CBD thing, it was my same mantra. I'm tired of people taking advantage and overcharging for CBD products. CBD doesn't cost very much to make. People were literally taking a gram of CBD, which would cost like $10 back then, maybe even less now.
Right.
And then infusing it into oil to make a tincture and then selling that bottle for $100. All because they threw it in a centrifuge and said, now it's micro.
Right.
And I was just like, that's really not correct. Anybody can look at how much it costs to make. Everybody can purchase the raw ingredients online through wholesale dealers, and people want to turn around and flip it like this and then sell it to, once again, patients, people who are already in a certain class. It just gives me the feels, because as a teacher, I wasn't a rich person. I'm still not a rich person. And I lived with the demographic of people who needed it the most. And I knew their real situations, and I was not okay with that happening to them.
Well, like I said, kudos to you for beating the system in your own little way. And we love that here at USW Channel. So now,
I was going to tell you one more thing. The other thing I'm doing here is we're also doing special infused dinner parties, events on boats, a whole slew of things for people who just really enjoy green over margaritas and things like that. Because, there's a lot of booze activities over here in Mexico, but not everybody's a boozy person, and they still want to have these really fun times and enjoy their substance of choice.
Well, I'm from the 80s, so I will enjoy both, and you can count me in.
Yes, and we do offer both. We just want to have all options present. Yes.
We will come down and we will film a couple of episodes from your location there.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. You guys will love it. Yes.
Yeah, have a great blast, because Jeannie's other show, the original show that I wrote for Jeannie with US Wheat Channel is called Canada Destinations. So brand sponsors out there who are interested in working with US Wheat Channel and Jeannie 420 as well. So we will be going to several several destinations that are cannabis friendly, and your name will be slathered all up and down. Anyways, enough about them. So now you, though, for right now, this minute, how do people, first of all, how do they find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on social media by looking up. I have 2 prominent Facebook pages that I use. One is called Chef Sage, and you can go on there and follow a lot of what I'm doing in the culinary world. But then, of course, my personal account is also kind of a public account where I share everything that's going on in my life and world. And so if you look up Sage Doull, you are welcome to follow me and see my wonderful adventures here. And then if you're on Instagram, it's chef.sage.amdahl. You can follow along on Insta as well.
Perfect. And Amdahl is AMDAHL, correct?
That's right. AMDAHL. Yes.
Just making sure for everybody at home, so you can go ahead and look up Chef Sage and show her some love and follow her across all social, and also invite sponsors to her new show on US Weed Channel. And then, is there a website or anything that people can go to order your products or find out more about you specifically?
No, I don't have a web page currently. However, I do have information about me and my journey and stuff like that, so you can find that information there. As far as products go, we're still very much in the gray market here in Mexico. We're working on things. We have decriminalization here. We've had it for a couple of years now, but they are still working about how legalization is going to transpire. So currently, if you're in Mexico, if you're in Puerto Vallarta and you want my CBD products, I do have them at a doctor's office here called Pause Integrative Therapies, and you can find my line there that Dr. Cynthia has.
That'll be perfect. Thank you for that. And I'm sure the people local to you will be very excited about being able to get their CBD product. That is awesome sauce. Let me just ask the crew real quick. Jeannie and Scott, if you were to have your wills on, what you would have made by a chef that would be infused, what would it be? What would you have made by Chef Sage for yourself?
My casket.
No, to eat.
Your casket? You want me to make like an edible box where like people can like nibble on it as they're saying their respects?
I'm saying, yeah.
I don't think you understood the question.
No, I did. You said, what would I want made by the chef? I would want to have a big edible tea party, and I would want everything should be biodegradable and good for the earth, and definitely sprinkled in medical glitter.
I just imagine this like, is it cake or steak event?
Hey, I like the glitter part. So if we
Yeah.
can like, I'm sure we could make some sort of like shatter that like shimmers and break it all up. We'll work on that.
We do have edible glitter. I use edible glitter in my specialty cakes.
That's perfect.
I put medical glitter in my water and I freeze it in a nice shape, like a superhero. And then it's my superpower, my pink water, and it glitters and it's medical. And it's always in like a Superman for the boys or whatever. And and it's my super water.
Jeannie, have you heard of new fad called glickles? They're glitter pickles.
Say what?
People are adding glitter to their pickle jars and making glickles.
I am bursting into glitter as we speak.
Right. There's going to be glitter all over the screen by the time this is done being edited. It's going to be amazing.
Glitter is forever.
Okay, you and Jeannie are obviously besties on a whole nother level. So what would you have made if you had your wills and your druthers here?
Spaghetti with bolognese sauce, bolognese, baci tucci baci.
That's right.
You couldn't tell with one single answer. Scott is very East Coast.
Mm-hmm. Well, bolognese is something I've made many times. It's fantastic. And the trick to a true bolognese is do not add sugar to that sauce. No, no, no. Italians put a carrot in it.
Boom! Everyone can go to sleep easy tonight because you've learned something. Don't need the sugar, just throw in a carrot. Well, thank you so much, Chef Sage, for coming on and telling us a little about your story and stuff like that. We're going to have you back, obviously, for as we go. So thank you very much. Again, we're going to take off for a quick break. While we're gone, you might as well, because you're going to pack a bowl, you might as well go on social media, like everything that you see that is at US Weed Channel. Show some love, comment on something so we can break their algorithm, even though we don't have an algorithm, and then invite everybody to come and see it.
Dispensary owners, once you realize you could get tons of extra new clients and sales without weed maps, it's a little like this. Dispensary owners, here's how we increase and stabilize traffic and revenue for cannabis dispensaries like yourself without ever spending a dime on weed maps. And this means for you that you get the extra cash that you depend on without weed maps. No more over-investing in weed maps without getting a monthly ROI and cutting off the deal bros who just want the cheapest weed possible. And we have free trading. Click down here below to get access to our 2024 free marketing cheat sheet for cannabis dispensaries.
Welcome back to the Daily Dose podcast with your hosts, Jeannie 420, Shane Doogan Doull, and Scott McDowell. This segment is brought to you by a sponsor, New Jersey Cannabis Consulting. Be sure to follow the links and show them some love. Be sure to watch the USW channel on all your favorite devices except Fire TV because they are lame only for the moment. If you want to come back, we're ready to accept you. Be sure to download the USWC mobile apps and support all things USW channel because you love growing cannabis television. Now, where were we?
Scott McDowell for breaking news for US Weed Channel. Before I start, I'd like to ask Chef Sage, you're going to be in a new play called Harvey. Please tell us about it.
Yes, so I have recently been told that I'm confirmed. I will be playing the role of Vita, which is Elwood's sister. Elwood is who sees Harvey, the invisible rabbit. And I'm very excited. I'm not an actress, but I have read preschool stories to children for years. So they liked the way I read the role. And I haven't been on stage for over 30 years. So I'm nervous, excited, all the things, and can't wait to share more of this journey with you guys.
And she killed it. She did really well. It's just like the Jimmy Stewart movie, Harvey.
Come on, who's that in the background?
That's my lovely husband, my biggest cheerleader.
All right, well, come on over. What's your name?
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Ash.
Ash, what's happening, brother? Thank you for chiming in. And you know what? Everybody needs a fan, brother. So that's a good start.
And I'm sorry I was so loud. There was a bunch of stuff going on that we didn't know about. People are showing up and stuff. So I sincerely apologize, brother.
That's all right. Guess what? You're going global too. So, okay, there it is.
That's right. That's right.
It's good to see Chef Sage has backup and that you guys are a team in this process.
He's my sous chef. He's so important.
I'm basically the COO. I do all the logistics and operations and stuff behind the scenes, and then I help her do all the other stuff. But this woman can do anything. It's amazing. She's brilliant.
That's where it starts. You need that fandom at home right there. And I swear I wasn't going to make a joke about being chef, a man named Sue. When she said sous chef.
That's right. I love that song. Johnny Cash is great. Yes.
Oh, you bet. Absolutely. Okay, so great to meet you, Ash. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, no worries, bro. We're just having fun here and we're introducing people across our industry.
Right on. It was a pleasure meeting you too. Thank you so much. You have a great day, man.
You bet, brother. You too. Mm-hmm. And there it is. Right on. We love to see that. So you're going to play the
leading role.
She's the very impatient sister.
She is. Elwood is considered crazy because he's got an imaginary friend named Harvey, an invisible rabbit, right? Who helps him control time and space. But it's so wild that Vita's been around him so much, been around Elwood so much that she starts to see Harvey too.
There it is.
Yes.
But isn't it like in the beginning, and it's been a long time since I read that book. That was like grade school. But doesn't she like in the beginning, she doesn't believe and she's very sort of like, insistent that he's like, you're not, and that kind of thing.
She knows he's crazy. Vita has a daughter and her daughter is of age for dating. And Elwood's condition is kind of stifling her daughter's dating experience. So the mother feels that it would be best at this time to try and have her brother committed. But she realizes through the journey that she actually doesn't want her brother to change. She loves him the way he is.
Yeah, I remember that tale. By the way, when this is done, is this going to be a film, a play? What's going to happen?
It's a play. We are going to have 9 performances in March, and it's at the American School here in Puerto Vallarta through a theater called Teatros Sin Borders.
Talk to your producer after the show. Tell them to film it, right?
Okay.
Find some film it so we can put it on the channel and have some.
That would be wonderful. I will. I'll reach out to them.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
All right, cool. So thank you for that. And sorry I forgot to ask about it. We were just having so much fun earlier. So now, Scott, what do we got on cue for today, my friend? What is in the T-ball setting for us to bat out of the park today on breaking news?
Breaking news worldwide, especially United States. Yesterday was Jimmy Carter Day, the celebration of Jimmy Carter, 39th president, his life, and obviously the funeral is going on. So Jimmy Carter obviously is gone and will be greatly remembered. Our second story in breaking news is still to this day right now, Canada and the Prime Minister Trudeau stepping down and Trump getting involved saying, oh, I want to buy Canada too. Trump, it's not for sale. You can have Greenland on sale, Panama Canal on sale to get the area in Panama straightened out. It's in possession of another country that's supposedly our friends. So we're going through that motion right now in breaking news. Obviously, everybody's a little worried. We have a cold chill across the country. So breaking news, of course, the LA fire are a big deal. Yes, California is still here. It didn't burn down to the sticks. Only small parts. The Palisades fire was epic. I had a film crew filming for breaking news in LA County, and everybody survived. So the LA fires have been making national news. Obviously, Wall Street and Bitcoin are always on the way up, as always. What we can see, there was a little bit of a Bitcoin meltdown. The Fed is interested in raising the interest rates again, and because inflation is kicking around again. So that in breaking news, the Wall Street is up, and Bitcoin today is actually up. In our weather report for growers, you have to keep a 72 degree if you're going outside in all 50 states, United States. You really can't grow outside right now. Everybody's indoor growing unless you're in Mexico or South America where you can grow year round. So obviously that's what we see in breaking news. And Shane, because you're a California resident, how and what's your feeling about the big fires in California?
Well, besides all of the, conspiracy theories abound that are across different social media platforms and things like that, about it being set on purpose, set to cover up Diddy's crimes, set to feed the lizards underneath, set to hide the tunnels underneath the city, all of that good stuff. I think it's horrible, first of all, that everybody did that, or everybody had to suffer through that, and so many homes were lost. I recorded a founder video yesterday on my true feelings about this, and effectively, I'm just a little pissed off at myself that there wasn't like more of me to go around prior to this, because if there was, US channel would be a little more advanced, and then we'd have a crew that we could go out there and we could be showing people real news and doing stuff like that. So mostly I got a little, I got bummed out for the people that suffered. Then I got melancholy that the channel wasn't a little more advanced. And then I set forth a call to action, and I'll say it here as well. There are groups there in LA that are giving away food, blankets, clothing, things like that are helping people file their insurance claims and do all sorts of nifty stuff, right? But don't get me wrong, and I don't want to sound crass or belittle any of those other projects. They're all absolutely needed. But is anybody giving out cannabis to cannabis patients whose dispensary is gone?
Really, that would be a great thing, because obviously the dispensaries in the burned out cities are obviously closed, and obviously they burnt up a couple dispensaries in Palisades especially. So why not free weed? But yet again, who's in the hood? The National Guard, the fire department, the police department. So really, no one's sitting on the curb smoking weed.
What I was thinking was there are places like there's gathering at like Los Alamitos racetrack, horse racetrack, and things like that. My call would be, A, if there is a cannabis dispensary or grower out there that wants to join forces, and B, if somebody in the LA, I'm sure there's some sort of LA Cannabis Baloney Bureau, we would like to talk with you so that we could coordinate some sort of giveaway. And if there's an attorney out there, maybe you can donate a little time to make sure that we do this right. And if there's a film crew or somebody with a camera and some chops, get in touch with me, and we'll all go out there and we'll give away a bunch of weed to people that need it, because, well, I'm sure that there are people there that need their cannabis. It'd be good. And we'll be sure to blow everybody up on US Weed Channel to make sure that you get proper marketing for your service. So there you go.
An oil drive.
Oh, I like
You
that.
can make them something topical or a tincture, something. It doesn't have to be taupe. You can wear the care too. You can ingest it. There are many ways to get your medicine. And as a caregiver, that's been my concern, definitely. The patient.
Jeannie, they have for sale, I hate to say it, but Amazon, but they have on there, you can get a bunch of 1 dram dropper bottles. And so you can make a bunch of little micro tinctures to pass out to people. It's just an idea.
This would be very cool. So these are all great. And folks at home, that's why we have a team. Because not all the great ideas spew from my head. Sometimes they come from everybody else's.
Takes a village.
It takes a village. You know, there's just so much fitting in that. I'm not even going to just go there. But anyways, that was just perfect. Okay, and then Scott, yeah, so the wildfires, they're awful. I don't know if anybody saw it, but our governor here in California went on some interview and was dancing around like he was on meth or something. And he was like, yeah, I just talked to the governor of Hawaii and we're talking about doing some cool stuff. And I'm like, what in the... Anyway, it was trippy, dude. The guy is on something big time. And if he's not, he's so giddy because of the billions of dollars he's personally going to make on the LA rebuild that it's just gross. So we'll figure that out as the time comes. What was the other subject that you brought up, Scott?
Obviously, the economy and the job market. We're creating new jobs, but also raising the prices on inflation is on the way back up. And the Fed is not going to cut interest rates, especially in January and February. You're not cutting rates, really?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, we need as much push in the economy now. During the summer, everybody be spending money, but no one's spending money right now in the middle of the winter.
Well, you know why? Because everyone's saving up so that they can donate to the 1,000 Puffs of Light program at US Weed Channel and help us make our US Weed Channel studios. So that's what they're doing, Scott. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
I am absolutely sure of it. And then a couple other things that are happening is we want to talk about politics, which I never really do. But right now they're going through the certification hearings or whatever they're called for the incoming President Trump's, his cabinet. So that's all over the TV and that's fun to watch. But other than that, there's lots of cool stuff going on outside, people. It's chilly, but it's sunny. So my suggestion is layer up, get your butts outside, enjoy some sunshine, and be healthy. You know, I'm going to say it to everybody. Chef Sage, would you like to weigh in on any of the American politics from Mexico?
We are laughing over here about the Gulf of Mexico
Oh,
and
yeah.
wanting to rename it. We think that's very funny. In fact,
Yeah, I heard that.
we're calling it the Lake of Male Insecurity or the Ocean of Male Insecurity.
I like it.
And
Name short unit.
Right. I will say this. While the U.S. government, Trump might be making comments about the things that come over from Mexico to the United States, I will say that in the United States, they're bringing a lot of things over into Mexico as well. And I have to say that there are a lot of illegal Americans living in Mexico, a lot. You know, everyone wants to point the finger, but the thing is, we all share borders. Borders are imaginary. We should just learn to live together in peace and be happy.
Yeah, borders are effectively less to protect, and I could be wrong, but because I've been wrong before. I think they're less to protect the people and more to protect the
institutions,
the assets that are in the land.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but you know, before we give everyone a giant civics lesson and all that stuff.
You know, I kind of like secretly joke, but I say I'm kind of Mexican because I'm from California.
Right. There's very few of us that don't know a good deal of Spanish.
That's okay. I didn't know anyone that came here, but we can all learn. And the great thing about learning a language is it's actually really great for your brain as you get older. Helps stave off Alzheimer's, dementia, and things like that. Keep learning. As a former teacher, keep learning.
That's a fact, by the way. And that's something just on a personal note that I'm dealing with my mom. And so I've got her into like doing mind games on her phone and different things like that. And I kid you not, they help.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just things that like she gets better from things like that. And she starts, you know, getting more into conversations and becoming more cognitive of everything. And it's not like she's totally gone or anything. She just literally started. So I'm like, you know what? Anyways, enough about my mom. Love you, Mom. Yeah, it's got to look kind of weird from the outside of looking in.
Well, we get a lot of comments. Okay, there's a lot of people who don't travel. They've only stayed in their small town in the States, and they really don't know what it's like over here. They think it's full of cartel and a bunch of other things. And really, the fact is that the word cartel just means gang. If you ask many people, can you name a cartel? They can't even name one. It's really not that organized. It's not like the mafia.
Here's the thing. It's like they just want to make money too. So even though they might go by the name cartel or gang, they're actually running the hotels and we're all having a good time at it. So
right. And the thing about it is that, you know, in places like Puerto Vallarta where we live, it's really, really safe. It's not like Sinaloa. I mean, there are areas of Mexico where they are having turbulence. It's true. But people need to remember Mexico is giant, like the United States. Just because there's a bad neighborhood in New York doesn't mean that Idaho is bad. You know, like, come on, let's be real. Let's let's think about this. So it's just like any other place in the world. If you travel there, be aware of your surroundings. Don't carry your wallet in your back pocket and be nonchalant about your life. No, have a self-awareness. Things happen everywhere in the world, and it's a beautiful country. I invite everybody to come visit to see it. We have some of the best food in all of the world. We have so many different variety of cuisine here. We have oceans. We have winters here, never get colder than maybe 65, and that's at night, and that's in Puerto Vallarta. So if you're looking for a place where you're not going to be cold, you want something affordable, not cheap, affordable and beautiful, this is the place to be.
I freaking love that. Everybody at home, I grew up in Southern California, and I have been going to Mexico since I was 14. That was 84. That was like, and my friend's parents, they had gone in on a cabin or whatever, a home that was literally on the beach about a mile and a half before Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would go down there, and back then it was just those houses and like not Tijuana, Rosarito.
Oh yeah.
Back then Rosarito was a street, like it was a street literally, and oftentimes there was a federale guard with like a machine gun standing at both ends of the street.
Sure, yes.
That was like the police patrol. It wasn't anything like crazy. And
a lot of Americans are very, like, when they first come and they see federales, they are a little timid because we're not used to seeing armed, service people as often. But they are here for our protection, and they are what keep us safe. Yes.
Absolutely. And what I was getting to was I've been having a blast in Mexico since I was 14, like literally surfing, motorcycle riding, going out to the desert. It is awesome. I love it. So Mexican Travel Board.
Mexican Travel Board is good. Just as long as you're, if you're driving into Mexico, just be aware that along the U.S. border, that is technically where there are the most issues, because that's where things come and go through. So just be aware when you come through, if you're driving, about where your entry point is. But other than that, you'll be totally fine. If you're flying in, you'll have no issues at all.
And just be respectful. Just be like
you would
expect someone or want someone to be if they came to your place in Springfield, Illinois.
That's right. If you start showing ignorance, you're going to receive upset back. It's quite common for anybody, if you're being rude, for people to look at you like, yeah, you're being rude.
and that funny thing happens all over the world. There's really no like one space that's confined to, Sid.
That's very true.
Well, this has been a fun interview because we've gone all the way from introducing you into a minor civics lesson, into a travel lesson into Mexico, and almost a commercial for them. I think they should be paying you for this one.
Yeah, right? That's right. The Commission of Mexico. I'm here and I'm doing your service.
There you go. We'll edit that out for you, and we'll send it to them and be like, what up, fools? Let's go.
¿Qué pasó, amigos?
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, good. This has been a wonderful interview. We really appreciate you coming on, Chef Sage. This has been a lot of fun. You too, Ash, back there. We can see you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you, Sage, and thank you, Ash.
And thank you for, replying to Jeannie's email and stuff like that and getting on, because, again, we're just starting out. We're trying to get all these stories out there and get everyone involved and on, so that's what we're doing.
Excellent. I love your work.
Yeah, we love it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. For everybody, I think that is the show for today. Are we reading out, Ashley? Is that it?
That's good.
You're wrong, Ashley.
I'm sorry.
Do you see how much fun we have on the show? It is just continuous.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Jeannie 420, will you please read us out for the day? And don't forget to tell everyone to like, love, and all that wonderful, great stuff.
It seems today's dose is already wearing off. It always comes sooner than expected. But fear not, my friends. The Daily Dose will be back to medicate your senses. Until then, watch every Dawn show on the US3 channel and listen to every Dawn bit of USWC Rocks Radio. Until we are back to soothe your cerebellum once again, let's all say thank you once again to today's sponsors, the New Jersey Cannabis Consulting Company. And we appreciate you for supporting cannabis media. On the USWC's mission is to create safety and prosperity for everyone in the global community of cannabis. Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode of The Daily Dose on the USW channel. We are your hosts, Jeannie 420, Shane Doogan Doull, and Scott Migdal, our producer, running the board. And now look for new episodes on the US3 channel, Mobile Labs. Join us on our next episode and become a good person and get your daily dose daily.
Everybody have a great day. Like, love, everything US Weed Channel. We'll see you next week.
That's a wrap on this episode of US Weed Channel. We appreciate you rolling with us. Your support keeps this community thriving. Stay connected. Visit usweedchannel.com for cannabis news and entertainment. Download our app on Google Play and the App Store. Follow, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for being part of the US Weed family, elevating cannabis culture, one episode at a time. See you next time.